And so let's see some examples of chemical changes. So again, chemical change, you're changing the substance, the materials, the composition of the material, right? Like the very structure of it. So when it comes to like burning or combustion, you can consider that a chemical change because it has a color change. There is an odor change. It produces a gas and it gets hot, right? So these are all characteristics of a chemical change occurring. There is also a corroding, right? If something is corroding, then that means it is going from, like, think of this metal here, right? It's going from this shiny, sturdy material into this dark, burnt orange, brown color, and it's no longer sturdy. Now you can kind of like punch through it without a lot of effort if it is especially corroded. And then you see rusting, that is a color change. Again, you're going from like a shiny metal to something that is no longer shiny, right? It's this dull, burnt orange color. That is a characteristic of a chemical change. Another color change that's showing that there is a chemical change happening is in mold. So if you really zoom into mold, you'll notice that you'll start to see a color change. If you think of a slice of bread that has gone moldy, you'll notice at first just a white piece of bread, but as it starts getting more moldy, it changes colors to like a greenish, gray color, right? So you have that color change. Decay is also an example of a chemical change. So if something is decaying, it's no longer like you see this fruit here. It looks like an apple or a pear. It was once a lot more firm, a lot more a light color, but now that it's decaying, right, it's becoming a lot more like mushy, not as sturdy. The color change is getting darker. The very center looks like a black color, and then kind of starts like radiating brown color out of that. So that is a color change, and that's showing an example of a chemical change. Digesting is another example of a chemical change, right? So here, the food that you eat, it goes during the process of digesting, it undergoes a color change, it undergoes an odor change, and it produces a gas, right? And so, but the reason why it's so important to us is because it releases energy, which fuels us, right? And that energy that is created is an example of a chemical change. So, really quick, what kind of change is this right here? So, if you answered physical, right, this is a physical change. What kind of change is this right here? If you answered chemical, you're right, this is a chemical change. And what kind of change do you see here? If you answered physical, then you're right, this is a physical change. Right, it's going from a solid to a liquid. And then this right here, which is this? This is a chemical, right? Because you see the bubbles again are a sign that there's a chemical change happening. So this is a chemical change. What kind of change is this right here? So this change that you see right here, if you answered physical, then you're right. This is a physical change.